Hello everyone, and welcome to this review of the Count Dooku Premium Format by Sideshow Collectibles. This is yet another old piece from Sideshow in the Star Wars line, and I just got him a few months back though. And my reason for getting this piece is that first and foremost, this is Count Dooku, and he really represents the entire prequel trilogy quite a bit, I think, because he's the main nemesis throughout the second movie and also up through the Clone Wars series. So in that sense, I find this to be a very important character. And also as a collectible, I really find this piece to stand out because the way Sideshow have implemented fabrics in this piece is really beyond most that I've seen before. And in that sense, I find this to be a very underrated piece, because he's not that popular in the community, I think. Only die-hard fans get this guy, I think. But the way Sideshow have used fabrics and cloth in many aspects of this piece, I really find it well implemented, and that is one of the main selling points, I think, of this piece. Also, the sculpt is very finely crafted. The likeness is very good, and this is of course the actor Christopher Lee that most people know today from Lord of the Rings, where he plays Saruman, and also of course in Star Wars, where he's Count Dooku. And the likeness is very good, I think, and this is yet another selling point. So if you combine the sculpt, which is great, and the fabrics, well, pretty much the entire figure or the entire statue is covered then, and all aspects I find are very well crafted and executed. So in that sense, I think this is a very underrated piece, and I love to do this review because I really think that more collectors should get their eyes up for this piece, or open for this piece. And as you can see, the fabrics, well, they comprise most of this piece actually. He's got this big cloak, which is completely similar to the one we see in the movies. And of course his uniform underneath is very well done as well. And I also like the pose. The pose is important because it really complements the fabrics well. The way that his entire pose is made in the way that to support the use of fabric. You can see he's underneath his cloak, but his arms, his left arm is revealing his inside, his uniform, his body, and he's in this battle pose. He's ready for fighting, I guess. And this is, in my eyes, a very unique way of using fabrics, and I really wish that Sideshow would do this more often, because this is the perfect way of combining fabrics with a polystone sculpt, I think. Right, as I usually do, I'm just gonna zoom in on his face so you can see some of the details and the fine sculpt, so just 2 seconds. And here we have his face. Now, as you can see, this is evidently based on the actor's look, Christopher Lee's look, and I really find that the likeness is just incredible. And I don't really have anything negative to say about that. The skin colors and skin tones are also very nice and realistic, and also the white beard is very finely sculpted and detailed. There are these dark shadows in his white beard, and if you get really close on his skin, and you'll see this later when I look at his hands as well, you can see that they've also noted that this is an old person, that you can see this in the way that the skin color and tone is applied to the sculpt. There are these small evidences of age present. And well, just the entire sculpt is just very fine, and the hairline and the entire, well, his hair is really nicely detailed, and yeah, and his ears as well, as typical with these pieces, they are finely sculpted as well. And I don't really know the name of the sculptor of this piece, so if you know who this is, then feel free to comment and tell me. because I'd really like to know actually. But as you can see, the eyes are also very realistic and lifelike, I think, and they really captured the essence of this character, I think. His determined and somehow intimidating look. I really like that. So this is definitely one of the main selling points of this piece, and any fan of sculpts and statues and all that, I fail to recognize that they wouldn't see this as a perfect sculpt, because in my eyes, and I've seen so many statues over the time, this really stands out, I think. And again, I'm somewhat surprised that this hasn't become a more popular statue, because this really is one of the greatest representations of a character from the Star Wars movies, I think. So I hope you agree that this is a really fine sculpt. There's no doubt in my mind. Right, let's just zoom out and have a look at his body, so you can see the use of fabrics and all that. So just 2 seconds. As you can see, the colors that are most dominant is some kind of brown. I don't know the exact name of this color type, but it's mainly just brown and warm colors. And this sets him out compared to many other Sith characters that we know out there, which mainly feature black colors. And this really gives Christopher Lee's character Count Dooku a different look and different feel somehow. And that's interesting from a whole Sith perspective, I think. So he does stand out from the Sith crowd, I think. He has this uniform, which is his... It actually reminds me of the Imperial uniform that you see in the original trilogy. It just has a different color, the brown here. And this is I think this is genuine leather. Please correct me if I'm wrong. I do think it's genuine leather, which goes all the way around. And the only issue in this regard is that I've noticed that if you move the belt up and down, it does leave behind some traces of the inside of the leather, like small dust, or, well, I don't know what to call it, but you can see you have to wipe it away if you do that, and that's kind of annoying. But I guess this can happen when you deal with these kinds of materials, so it's not that big a deal, I think. And I was talking about his hands before, and here you can really see how his wrinkled hands really stand out, and it's really evident that this is an old person. And I really like the way they've sculpted his hands, because they are really convincing, I think. And his entire cloak here, there's a wire going down as usual along the edge, only on the edges here and the other side here, but not along the bottom edge. And the cloak is very fine as well. There's shoulder pads in here to give him a more, well, it fills his body out. Somehow it makes him look a little more intimidating and big. The cloak is just a very thin and fine material. It's a little rough to run your fingers across. And it's dual layered, which means that there is this even more thin layer on the inside. I don't know the name of the material, but it's a very fine material. It doesn't wrinkle that much, I think. I haven't had any problems with that. So yeah, this is a fine way of implementing cloth, I think. And as I said in the beginning, this is one of the main features of this piece, I think. His lightsaber is his very iconic. It's bended. I'm sure you've seen some videos featuring maybe the master replicas version of Count Dooku's lightsaber, and it's a unique design. It's actually you've never seen this before. When you saw this in the movie, that was the first time you saw a different looking lightsaber. I know that Asajj Ventress have similar bended sabers, handles, and well, it just adds this symbolism to to the way he fights, because it's more aggressive, it's more pointy, it's more in your face when he's wielding it. And that's a nice concept, I think. It does have a light up feature. On this piece, it's on my piece here, it's very weak. I don't know if you can even tell. And I actually think that's a defect, because it's the same technology as you see on like Darth Talon and other pieces, and on those pieces it's the light up feature is much more efficient. So I think there's some kind of weakness to this piece that I have here in my collection, but I'm not really a big fan of light up sabers anyway, so I never use the function anyway. It doesn't do anything for me, so. But I guess it's nice it's there for those of you who care about that. And these hinges up here are really nicely done as well. They are metal, and you can actually unbuckle him and take off the cloak, but it doesn't really look cool when you do that, so I'll recommend you not to do that. I'm not going to do it in this video because, as I said, it doesn't look good, so I think it would be pointless to do it. His shoulders are actually kind of small, so this part of the cloak is really important. Yeah, let's have a look at his legs and the base. I know that's also something that I want to detail, because that's important to this piece, so just hang on. And here we go. As you can see, this is quite an ordinary look. We have these high boots, which are typical for most of the characters in the Star Wars universe. And again, this resembles, in my opinion, the Imperial officer. The colors of the pants are just brown as the bodysuit is, so well, there's nothing much to say about it. I mean, the pose of him in general is really nice, I think, because it captures the look of the character that we know from the movies. So in that sense, I find it very nice. The base is also boring. As you know, most Star Wars pieces are boring when it comes to the base. There are some examples of a very exciting and different base, but most of the pieces that I've come to know have this generic spaceship base or whatever this is, and the black edge around here that I know some people like because of the stylish appearance, but some other people like a more interesting base where the base comprises maybe some part of a scene or something like this. But this is more a generic base, I think. And the cloak goes almost all the way down to the base, and we have the button for the lightsaber here, which is black in this case. On the Anakin Skywalker premium format, the button is red. I think I commented on that as well. I don't really know why they decided to do a red button instead of just a black button. But yeah, as you can see, the base is very small, and I know that some people have complained about this as well. To me, it doesn't really matter. I think the base complements the entire pose of this piece, so the fact that it's a quite small base doesn't really bother me. But I can see that, well, he is standing, as you can see, he's not that securely placed. I mean, he's not going to tip over or anything like that, but I understand why some people might have some concerns in this regard. And before we move on, I would like to actually compare the base in size to one of my other pieces. While I just find that other base, just hang on for a few seconds. And here we have the base of the Count Dooku premium format, and this is my hand, which is, I would say, normal in size. I like my hand, it's pretty, I think. As you can see, this is a rather small base and it's easy to handle. Well, I guess that's one of the upsides, at least. Count Dooku 554 out of 750. The battery goes in here, two of them, I think. But this is a rather small and pathetic base, I guess. You can see the plug here for the foot goes into here for the light up feature. Rather small and insignificant compared to this one. And this is the Darth Maul premium format base, the original Darth Maul premium format. And as you can see, it's very big and a lot heavier. So if you're a fan of big bases, I can recommend you getting the Darth Maul premium format, really. And I just wanted to show you the difference in size. I mean, for some people stuff like this matters more, I guess. For me, the most important thing is just that it suits the premium format, which I think it does in Count Dooku's case. And in this case, where the Darth Maul is standing, if you know this piece, you know that he's standing in a more dynamic pose, and for that reason he takes up a little more space, because his arms and all that is, well, he just needs more space, and that's the reason that the base is bigger. But you can see it's at least, well, it's twice as big, of course, and 3 to 4 times heavier, I guess. But again, it's an individual thing, I guess. To me, it doesn't really matter that much. But I think it's funny that you can have 2 pieces from the same line and same scale, and the base is that different. But that's just funny, I guess. Right. That was kind of a sidestep. Let's get back to the premium format and wrap this review up. Give me 1 second. And here we go. Here he is standing next to my Anakin Skywalker premium format. I really think that these 2 pieces go well together. They are from the same period, and they have faced each other numerous times, both in the movies but also in the Clone Wars series. And I really feel that the Count Dooku premium format is a great representation of the entire prequel era. Both in regards to the movies, of course, where this piece is based on, but also in regard to the Clone Wars series, which I've been watching over the last couple of years and actually grown to love quite a lot. And unfortunately, this piece is rather underrated, I think. And that's a shame, because it's really a nice sculpt, and the sculptor behind this piece have really done a great job. And I really find that this piece belongs in any serious Sideshow Star Wars collection. So if you're into Star Wars premium formats, don't forget to have a look on this guy, because he is a great piece, I think. He's not my favorite piece, I'll admit that, but he's still, I acknowledge the piece because it's really well done, and it's it's done in a better way than many of my other pieces, actually. And the love of detail and all that is really great in this one. Right, so I think this is the end of this review. I have a lot of more reviews coming in the nearby future, so make sure to stay tuned and subscribe to my channel, so you'll get the videos when I post them. And if you have any questions or comments or anything like that, feel free to write them. Yeah. Right, so thank you for watching.